Hello, I'm Jason Danini. I'm the senior product manager here at Reflect Systems and a proud partner of to BrightSign. And we've been working together for quite some time, and we have integrated our platform with BrightSign, and we work closely together with you guys on your innovations and incorporating the fun and cool stuff into our platform. And because of that, we've done some really cool things together as a product and as a platform, and together as partners have been able to roll out some really cool experiences. And the purpose for getting together today is to really showcase one of our new extensions of our product, the Reflect View experience. To cover, there's a lot of, I know that you guys work with a lot of different CMS, and you have your own CMS offering, and we like to talk about really what differentiates us in the market. And one is that we've been able to scale, and we have some proven reliability on the larger scale end of things. So that's one of our differentiators. We've been running our partner patient points network. It's a 50,000 endpoints, and we've also are trafficking ads on that network as well. So we've been running that for the last couple of years, and as far as the capabilities go, we have a easy process for onboarding and access to outside data through our data feeds. So it's a module that can be added to the server, and that just makes it extensible to other RSS feeds. But we also do custom work around those modules as well to really gain access to data that normally wouldn't be available or could be behind a firewall that wouldn't allow a platform to access it without having to poke a hole in the firewall in order to get to that data. We have those modules. I think it's a key differentiator for us. Also, just ease of integration. Secure integration with minimal IT needs. We like to pride ourselves in being able to convert existing networks and also roll new networks and do them with the least amount of rolling trucks as possible, just to keep the cost of the conversion down. Obviously, that's an important factor, especially if it's an existing network. And another integration that we've done recently, and I wanted to announce to this team in particular, is that we are also supporting Bright Author files as well. So we're able to ingest Bright Author files to be able to schedule on our CMS as well. So that's something that was new as of late last year. So we have the ability to schedule those down to BrightSign players. And with this new experience, we have this intuitive new CMS that's web accessible to focus on local content control. So we have a large network and a very scalable network, but one of the differentiators is that a lot of people, there's a handful of people that are actually using our system, because we've got just a handful of people that are scheduling and monitoring and running the network from our Reflect View publisher. But with this new edition of Reflect Experience, what we're providing is the opportunity for these bigger networks to provide access to somebody at the local level. We also have easy application development and management. So we have a documented platform or framework for being able to create applications, dynamic applications, to be able to schedule on the network as well. That's our Spark framework, and also ad logic for ad trafficking and automation and ad delivery. So I assume that you guys are familiar with Reflect View. We have the suite of our product. We have the server, publisher, now experience, the player, our framework, and SDK. So with Reflect Experience, this is our new web-based application. Again, it's an extension of Publisher. It's not a replacement of Publisher. And the target for this application really was to provide an easy way, intuitive way for someone to be able to log in, gain access, be able to upload content and schedule content easily and effectively with not very many steps. One of the interesting things that we've come across now that we've been introducing that, you know, we did our first introduction late last year, and you know, are again launching the rest of the application early this year with its full complement of features. And the interesting thing has been that you know, as far as scheduling needs are concerned, there's kind of a split on how technical that that process can get and what those needs are. So we're learning a lot as we're rolling this product out, but also knowing that you know, we're providing access to a customer and to a potential user that that really hasn't had access before. And so it's targeted for creating and publishing dynamic content and messages, and I'll get into that in my next slide. So those content templates are a way to enable an existing customer to be able to create a template that's on brand, and so that they can control the type of content that is getting sent out on the network. So that it's on brand, and that the layout is right, and it is you know, not relying on the user to be able to create beautiful content. That can all be established via the template with the messaging application. But it goes beyond that, really, because it's something new that we've also introduced is the ability to create data in the system as well. So right now we have it for messaging, but it's really flexible to allow other applications to be built and on that SDK and framework that we have available, so that a user and a third-party team can build an application and have a repository for content to be sent to those applications through the network, without having to use, you know, some of the older methods of you know, using a Google spreadsheet and other methods of you know, tying data to an application that's being scheduled. And I will get into that when we do the live demo. So really, the dynamic content packages are, you know, just unique packages for promotions, messaging. So this example here is just to show you, okay, where you've got dine in all day, that would be a title field. One low price would be like a subtitle field, and then the valid up to 14 locations is the body of the content. So it's essentially all that's required is just updating fields, right? So that you can just create the data for each one of those respective fields to update in the application, as well as a image here over on the right, depending on the layout. You can update that in messaging. So it's really exciting, because it's something that we haven't had in our platform, and I think it's unique in the fact that we have a way to store that data and be able to send that data down to an application. So before I continue, let me get into the demo. All right, so here is your landing page for Reflect Experience. So when you first log in, you get dropped into this page, and it's broken down by each one of the sections. So you have each of the main sections of the application here. So you've got my screens, my content, my playlist, my messages. So that's also shown up here. It's just a quick and easy way to show you what the different sections of the application are, and also you have some global navigation that's throughout the application as well. Over here on the left it's essentially a toolbar for kicking off any of the normal things that you would do throughout the application. And before I get into what each of those things are, let me start here in my screens and explain what this is. So my screens is a way for you to create groupings of different channels or different endpoints that make sense to the end user. So really, this gives you, as you can see here, there's a bunch. These have all been brought in as a as a blanket directly from the server. So all of these make sense, right, to an end user that's in Publisher and managing the network, but to a layman, right, like none of these really mean anything in terms of what screen it is, what am I scheduling to. With my screens, we're giving the ability to the user or to an administrator, and you have permissions on what a user is able to do in here. So you can give it a nice name, give it a description, say, the screen in the main hallway, something to give that user a, some sort of information that's associated with that particular screen, so that they can get aligned with what they're scheduling to. And then I can select the particular channel that I want to schedule to. But I also have the ability to add an image or a thumbnail that associates this particular screen or screen group for the user. So when I go back to, oh well, this is the video wall that I'm scheduling to, right? And so I have a video wall to associate what I'm scheduling to in the UI, and I'm able to save that, and then it gives me a thumbnail that's associated with that particular screen group. And one thing to mention with that as well is that with the screen group, I'm able to add as many channels, right? That's not just one channel. That can be 1 to 10,000 channels. It's really just how you want to arrange them and how you want to schedule to them. So it not only provides a nice name to associate with where you're scheduling content to, but also a way to segment content as well. So it's really straightforward. It's not really technical in scope, but it's a powerful tool for some network management that's being exposed in this web application. That's in addition to what's being managed in Publisher. So before I continue even further with this, is also how this integrates into Reflect System. So right now we have existing users that are using our Publisher our powerful Publisher application, but they want to introduce an experience opportunity to play content from this new extension of our platform, right? So there's a number of ways that it can be done. Right now we have playlists that exist right in our CMS in Publisher. So you can introduce a smart item into the playlist for this content, and it's really just assigning a feed to that particular endpoint from experience, and you can add a playlist item for experience as an opportunity to play. So say you had corporate content, and within that corporate content you have a mixture of video, maybe an application, a messaging application, some images, and when it goes through each one of those items, it will provide an opportunity for, say, the playlist that's introduced in here to play some content. So think about having some corporate content at a at a particular region where they want to play a consistent set of content on all of their screens. And then they want to provide an opportunity at the local level for a regional manager or an area manager or a store manager to be able to upload or schedule content and provide an opportunity in that playlist. So with experience, they can add that into their playlist, and as it goes through their corporate content, there's an opportunity that will come up for that content to play. So it could be where this is the only thing in the playlist that plays back, or you have the flexibility to add this in. So there's a lot of flexibility that we've introduced with this, because we know that there's a process or a transition from how our existing customers are using their playlist, so they have the ability to introduce this. But we also have some customers that are interested, and we're working on switching over to exclusively just managing their content and experience. So that's just kind of an overview of what the integration looks like from our legacy platform into this new platform. So that's my screens. One thing to mention also, throughout the application, we also have the ability to see it in this grid view, but also see it in a list view. So you can see more content at one time. You're able to get through and page through all of these. You can search. You've got a search filter here. So say I just want to do PWR. It shows me all the PWR stuff in my list. I can edit from here as well. So it just gives me a different way, depending on the user, right? They're more comfortable depending on what they're used to of seeing blocks of content or seeing lists of content. So we provided some flexibility for the user just depending on what they're comfortable with their workflow. And I'll show you that throughout the rest of the demo here. So that's my screens. And going into my content, this is again real simple, accessible way of adding content to the system. So we have these broken up into particular libraries. So you could think of libraries as maybe a way of managing folders of content. So you can group content. Not only can you group content with libraries, but you can also really provide lockdown permissions on what libraries are available to particular users as well. So we have just some content in here. We've got an image. It easily launches a preview here. We've also got video in here that automatically starts playing as soon as you launch the preview. With these carousels, you can slide through them and see what content you have available. You can also click See All to be able to see just a grid of all of the content that's available underneath each one of these libraries. Say I have one particular item in multiple libraries, I can search in that as a administrator, right? I'm in here as an admin just to show you all of the available features. So I can lock down. So say I wanted a particular role just to only have access to one of these libraries, then when I logged in as that user with that applied role, only the general content would be showing if that's what I designated for that role. But I'm seeing all of them here. And so that's basically content. It's again, really, really straightforward. We have a list view here for the content as well, so that you can see more at one time. Again, it's just a matter of what you're comfortable with and how you want to search and manage your content. Adding content to the system is really straightforward and easy. We've added the ability to drag and drop from your desktop to the screen. So say you have something on your desktop and you're not wanting to search for it, you can just drag and drop it into this area. It gets added, or you can add from computer, and it basically goes through my file system, and I can find an image that I would like to use. could be just a diagram or something like that. But with images, I wanted to show you that it shows like a default duration. And we did that so that when a user is uploading images, they don't have to think about, okay, well, how long do I want this this spot to be in this particular place? We add a 15-second default duration so that they're not having to pick that each and every time when they're scheduling something or having to update that in the playlist. And also, say I'm a admin and I have access to multiple libraries, or I'm a user that has access to multiple libraries. I can just add a name here, description, and then I can select any one of the libraries I want to add this to. I can click general content, or I want this also in auto, or I just want it in general content. I can just keep it there, click save, and it's been added to that library. So I can also filter by the libraries as well, which user, file type, name, for sorting as well. And then I can go back to grid view. So again, that's just a simple way to add content. We just wanted to develop it in a way that made it very simple and straightforward for the end user to be able to get content into the system and do it quickly and efficiently with the least amount of things that they need to fill out, like tagging and all of those things. Just because that introduces more complexity, and it's not to say that won't be introduced in the future. It's just really again targeted for a particular user. The layman user that's not typically well versed in scheduling content, and we wanted to be really considerate of their time. Because typically the person that the user persona for this application is somebody that has multiple things to do. They have a primary job that they're working on, and so we just provide a way to easily and quickly get this content in there. So so that's my content. So now I've created screens and I've got my content. Now I'm ready to make a playlist, right? I've got existing playlists, and playlists are exactly what you might think they are. It's just a list of content, ordered content that I have that I can create for scheduling to a device. So over here on the left, I have all of the available content that was in those libraries that I showed you guys previously. So it's an aggregate of all of that. So anything that I have available is now available in this section. I can search for it. That image that I added earlier, of like an architectural design, I've added that in here if I want to schedule that. Or I want to add a Reflect logo to the playlist. Just drag and drop from this section here. Super easy to do, and from here I have different types of content, right? Different MIME types or content types. So here I've got a video, that Lamborghini video that I showed earlier. It's already has a duration, so the duration is applied to it as a video, so that's determined by the video itself, so I don't have to update that for any videos. I have the ability to add a start and end date, so I can add content that I want to expire, or I can add future content if I want to. This shows me the order that it's in, and I can remove any of the content by clicking the little trash can over here. And say I want to come in here and I don't necessarily have anything that I want to schedule that's new to this playlist. All I have to do is click this, if the shuffle button, so that I can just update and refresh the content that's being played. Say it's been playing for a while, and I just want to update the order of the list. All I have to do is click that and click save. Or say I have some other screens that I want to also target with this playlist. All I have to do is go to any one of the screens that have been previously made, or I have one thing to note also is say I have a new screen that gets added to a particular screen group. When I add that on the other screen, that automatically gets the assignment for this particular screen group. So so it's dynamic in that way where I'm not having to go in here. Oh well, I've added some new screens. Now I've got to go back in here and click save. No, that's already happening dynamically. That's not something you have to worry about or think about here. It would just be any updates that you're making here in the playlist. You click save, and now the feed is getting updated, and the content's going through the pipe down to the player. So again, we targeted this to be very user friendly. This A up here in the right hand corner is to show you which have been assigned to this particular playlist. So say I add this next one, I click assign, and now it's showing that this has also been assigned to this playlist as well. I have the ability to see this also in grid view or also in list view. So if I want a little bit more real estate to play with and see more content at one time, I have the ability to do that. Again, same drag and drop functionality here for managing the content and adding content as well. So again, really straightforward and simple. I can shuffle as many times as I want, or I'm done. I don't want to do anything else. I can just cancel out of here. So again, this is just showing the different thumbnails. So I can add a thumbnail to one of these playlists from my library, so that I have just a visual marker or cue for what this particular playlist is. It could be the particular screen or experience that I want to add here for that playlist, just to remind me where it's going. Or I can add some content that is in the playlist itself, or add something new for my computer. And that's one of the things that we did throughout the application, really, is to provide some direction and some places where you can add content to the system without having to really break your workflow. So you can do that here, and also in light of that particular point is this toolbar over here on the left. So I have this available to me throughout the application. I have the ability to group a screen or create a screen group from here. I can also create a playlist. So say I'm in the content area and I'm ready to start building a playlist, I can do that from anywhere in the application, or adding content as well. So that's available. Those modals and dialogues are available throughout the application. Again, just to make it easy for the user to be able to add content to the system. So that's my playlist. So messages, and this ties back to the conversation around the dynamic content applications. So all of these messages are what would be consumed by a application that's created as content. So say I have a particular layout that I want to do for an application. I can build that application or that messaging system and get that down to the playlist. I can schedule that either in Experience or in Publisher, and then any of the messaging that I want to target for that particular dynamic content app, I can do within my messages. So say I have specials that have a particular layout that they need to be in. I can come in here and add that content. So it's a form essentially for being able to update apps that are down at the edge of the network. So say it's department related, or it's a standard message type, or it's for a ticker. I've got particular categories for it, or the application at the endpoint has the ability to be in landscape or portrait, and I can designate that in here. Like the titles that I was pointing out and subtitles. I could update here, just today's special and the subtitle and then the actual message. I can add images from my library for that particular template as well. And within this messaging, I also have the ability to create subscriptions, and that's an admin function. And subscriptions are really just a level higher, if in the hierarchy of screens. So a subscription is a group of screen groups. So you have subscriptions that can be multiple screen groups for you to target your messaging to. So it's a way to target even further. So say you just want it to be one-to-one or one-to-many, you have another way of being able to schedule that with your subscriptions. And again, we've created this library concept underneath my messages so that a user that has available has this feature available. They can group the content and the messaging, and also really provide and adjust who has access to what in the system as well. So that is messages. Again, we have a list view for you to be able to update that. You've got a name, a description here. With the at the application level, we have a little bit further where you can get a little bit more granular in your scheduling, so you can have a start time and end time for the messaging as well as the start date and end date, like we have in playlists. And you can select which libraries, not selected and non-selected. If you've got, a multitude of libraries, you have a way of getting through those so that it scales a bit better. If you have, a large sets of content that are available to you, and you can select the different types of forms. So if I was to go and add a new one, I can select from the existing forms here. And that is messages. So again, this comes into all of the the end user role-based user persona in Reflect Experience, but there's also an extension of this for the administrator. So in here is all of our administration features that are associated with each account. And in this area, you have the ability to create your libraries. So those are the libraries that you saw in my content and my messages. Those are all added and controlled here. It's just simply adding a name and a description, and you have a new group that you can assign content or messaging to. So pretty straightforward. And then since we were just talking about subscriptions, so I've got my subscriptions here. And again, those are an aggregate of screens. So I can select, as many as I want, screen groups that I want to associate with that particular subscription of messages, and be able to target those as well. So that's subscriptions. Again, just another way of targeting content. And here under role management, I've alluded to this throughout the presentation, but really this is your role-based permissions that you can add to the system. So let me add a new one here, and you can give the role a name. It can be whoever it is. Say it's just like a manager role. And with that manager role, I can select, okay, I want them to have access to general content, and I want them to only be able to see the content. I don't want them to be able to write to it, or I can give them the ability to write to that library as well. So add content to the library, and I could just give them that access. I also have the ability to give them access to particular screens, and whether they can create or delete screens that are in the system. Also with playlists, I can give them read-only access, or give them the ability to be able to delete or assign. And the power of this is that you can create some workflows with these role-based permissions to be able to assign particular permissions. Say you just want a content contributor, you could just give them access to their associated libraries, and they can upload content, and then give somebody like another role of approval and assignment, and you could give them access to be able to manage the playlists and assign playlists. And you also have the ability to publish and unpublish as permissions for the app, the dynamic messaging. So again, it's really flexible and provides a lot of power to the administrator of that particular network to be able to really provide as much access or limit the amount of access that a user has to the system. So that's your role-based and role management. User management is as you would think it is. It's just a list of users. I can find my user in here. I'm showing here as an admin and enabled. I can update my password and apply one of the available user roles if I would like. That's all happens in here. Again, we just provided a way of managing users that's done in a way that's really straightforward and easy to use. So not much to explain here. And account management is right now what we have available is I have the ability to be able to provide messages. So say somebody doesn't have a need for dynamic messaging, they can disable that, and it takes all of the associated things away that for that feature. So I can add that or remove that at an account level, depending on the user. And let me get into the field generator, because that's associated with the dynamic messaging. So this is something that's really exciting for us, because it's a new way for managing data that goes through our dynamic messaging feed. So you can create those forms in here. You can create a multiple choice. So all of those forms that I was showing you earlier when going to create a message, that is all managed in here. So it's essentially a form generator. And over here on the right, you get the preview of what the form looks like, how you want to order those, and that gets updated over here in real time as you make your adjustments to the order as well. So you can see, okay, well, I have too many choices here. Maybe I want to simplify this a little bit. So you can come in here and create like a data structure for the application itself, even before you get into the actually building the application, and just run through some different scenarios for how you'd want the data to look for the content app. And that's all done here in the field generator. So you easily add a form, as many as you like, and create the data models for the applications that you're creating to send down as content. So again, really simple, but a powerful tool, and solves a problem that we've had internally with Reflect, and I know on other systems, of being able to manage data and have unique data get sent out and available and updatable to somebody that isn't necessarily an administrator, right, or a developer with managing that particular content. Over here on the right is just my access to my profile, so I can update my name here. The account that I'm associated with and the email are set, but I can update my name and my password from this modal. And that really concludes my my demo. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, everyone.
Okay,
All right.
Have a good one.